Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff, and this is our daily lectionary readings. Today is for Thursday, August 15th, 2024. With it being Thursday, we are now looking ahead to what is going to be happening at church on Sunday. With it being Thursday, we also change our psalm. We are now in Psalm 111. Our Old Testament reading is going to be from 1 Kings chapter 1, verses 1 through 30. And then our New Testament reading comes from the book of Acts, chapter 6, verses 8 through 15. We're going to be reading this out of the Message today. Psalm 111. Hallelujah. I give thanks to God with everything I've got. Wherever good people gather and in the congregation, God's words are so great, worth a lifetime of study. Endless enjoyment. Splendor and beauty mark his craft. His generosity never gives out. His miracles are his memorial. This God of grace, this God of love. He gave food to those who fear him. He remembered to keep his ancient promise. He proved to his people that he could do what he said. Hand them the nations on a platter, a gift. He manufactures truth and justice. All his products are guaranteed to last. Never out of date, never obsolete, rust-proof. All that he makes and does is honest and true. He paid the ransom for his people. He ordered his covenant kept forever. He's so personal and holy, worthy of our respect. The good life begins with the fear of God. Do that, and you'll know the blessing of God. His hallelujah lasts forever. We scroll down. Our Old Testament reading is from 1 Kings chapter 1, verses 1 through 30. King David grew old. The years had caught up with him. Even though they piled blankets on him, he couldn't keep warm. So his servants said to him, "We're going to get a young virgin for our master the king to be at his side and look after him. She'll get in bed with you and arouse our master the king." So they searched the country of Israel for the most ravishing girl that they could find. They found Abishag, the Shemite, who had brought her to the king. The girl was stunningly beautiful. She stayed at his side and looked after the king, but the king did not have sex with her. At that time, Abinon, whose mother was Haggith, puffed himself up, saying, "I'm the next king." He made quite a splash, with chariots and riders and 50 men to run ahead of him. His father had spoiled him rotten as a child, never once reprimanding him. Besides that, he was very good looking, and next in line after Absalom. Adonai talked with Joab, the son of Zeruiah, and with Abiathar the priest, and they threw their weight on his side. But neither the priest Zadok, nor Benaiah the son of Jehonah, nor Nathan the prophet, nor Shema, nor Ray, nor David's personal bodyguards supported Abinah. Next, Abinah held a coronation feast, sacrificing sheep, cattle, and grain-fed heifers at the stone of Zonoth near the Rogel spring. He invited all his brothers, the king's sons, and everyone in Judah who had position and influence. But he did not invite the prophet Nathan, Benaiah, the bodyguards, or brother Solomon. Nathan went to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. "Did you know that Abinah, Haggith's son, has taken over as king, and our master David doesn't know a thing about it?" Quickly now, let me tell you how you can save both your own life and Solomon's. Go immediately to King David. Speak up. "Didn't you, my master, the king, promise me your son Solomon will be king after me and sit on your throne? So why is Adonai now king? While you're there talking with the king, I'll come in and corroborate your story." Bathsheba went at once to the king into his palace bedroom. He was so old. Abishag was at his side, making him comfortable. As Bathsheba bowed low, honoring the king, he said, "What do you want?" "My master," she said, "you promised me, in God's name, your son Solomon will be king after me and sit on my throne. And now look what has happened. Abinah has taken over as king, and my master, the king, doesn't even know it. He has thrown a huge coronation feast, cattle and grain-fed heifers and sheep, inviting all the king's sons, the priest Abiathar and Joab, head of the army. But your servant Solomon was not invited. My master, the king, every eye in Israel is watching you to see what you'll do, to see who you will sit on the throne of my master, the king, after him. If you fail to act the moment you've buried my son Solomon, and I are as good as dead." Abruptly, while she was telling the king all of these things, Nathan the prophet came in and announced, "Nathan the prophet is here." He came before the king, honoring him by bowing deeply, his face touching the ground. "My master, the king," Nathan began, "did you say Abinah shall be king after me and sit on my throne? Because that's what's happening. He's thrown a huge coronation feast. Cattle, grain-fed heifers, sheep, inviting all the king's sons, the army officers, and Abiathar the priest. They're having a grand time, eating and drinking and shouting, 'Long live King Abinah!' But I wasn't invited, nor was the priest Zadok, nor Benaiah the son of Jehoniah, nor your servant Solomon. Is there something that my master the king has done behind our backs, not telling your servants who you intended to be king after you?" King David took action. "Get Bathsheba back in here." She entered and stood before the king. The king solemnly promised, "As God lives, the God who delivered me from every kind of trouble, I'll do exactly what I promised in God's name. The God of Israel, your son Solomon, will be king after me and take my place on the throne. And I'll make sure it happens this very day." We scroll down to our New Testament reading, which comes from the book of Acts, chapter 6, verses 8 through 15. Stephen, brimming with God's grace and energy, was doing wonderful things among the people. Unmistakable signs that God was among them. But then some men from the meeting place, whose membership was made up of freed slaves, Cyrenians, Alexandrians, and some others from Cilicia and Asia, went up against him, trying to argue him down. But they were no match for his wisdom and spirit when he spoke. So in secret they bribed men to lie. We heard him cursing Moses and God. That stirred up the people, the religious leaders and religious scholars. They grabbed Stephen and took him before the high council. They put forward their bribed witness to testify, "This man talks nonstop against the holy place and God's law. We even heard him say that Jesus of the Nazareth will tear this place down and throw out all of the customs that Moses gave us." As all of this who sat on the high council looked at Stephen, they found they couldn't take their eyes off of him. His face was like the face of an angel. And here ends our readings for the day.